And I never really get asked about that process of making music. It's more about writing the song or the vocal arrangement. So 5 things I can't live without: my cell phone, Wi-Fi, food, my car keys, and my mom. 5 favorite spots in Joburg are the Royale, Olives and Plates, my mom's house, Kwatsetse, they sell dikot, sports scene to get some sneakers. Favorite meal of all time is Samp and Oxtail. My favorite local artist, Kaifa Semenya. Hey, my name is Langa Mavuso. You're tuned into the Weekend Turn Up, brought to you by Sports Scene and powered by Adidas. My parents were both choristers growing up, and what really brought me into the music space and loving music was watching them rehearse for choral competitions, sitting at the back of the hall during their rehearsal and being at the competitions, them having that applause. And I wanted to be on that stage, you know. My musical inspirations were really the music that was in the background of my life. You know, I heard a lot of Tsepotsula growing up. I heard a lot of Kaifas. I heard a lot of Ringo. And then I got into my teenage phase where I started listening to Neo Soul a lot. I listened to Music Soul Child, Erykah Badu, Dwele, John Legend, Maxwell, D'Angelo. And that really influenced me to go study jazz at UCT. With building the Langa Mavuso sound, I knew that it was important to figure out who I was and what I wanted to represent in the music that I was creating. I started to write music that was really from the heart and that represented love a lot of the time. I then wrote this song called Sunday Blues. This one day, I'm going down to Cape Town to go record a new EP called Home, but I asked my friend Nolly, I'm like, can you please come down and shoot me while I'm recording this song so that I have content to post on social media? And she says, I'll shoot you for free if you'll do UCT Live Room. And I'm like, I'm not really at UCT anymore, it makes no sense for me to do it. And she's like, no, but you were at UCT. So we shoot Live Room, and she sends it back to me when it's ready, and I upload it onto social media, and my phone dies and I'm going to a party, but everyone at the party is talking about this video that I posted on my social media. And I'm like, something happened, but my phone's off, so I don't really care. I'm at a party, I'm having fun. Get home, plug in the phone, charge it. As my phone goes on, like, this video had been trending, and there was so much reception from different kinds of people, but also people that I'd looked up to in the industry for a long time. And one of those people was Black Coffee. And he then signed me, and we released Sunday Blues together. I traveled to London to record my first album, and yeah, it was an amazing journey. My experience of being discovered on the internet was one that was quite unexpected for me, because most of my journey had been very traditional in terms of how I'd gotten into music. I'd studied. So for me, the experience of being signed to Black Coffee really gave me 2 different experiences of the industry. You know, I was here in South Africa, and I'd received a lot of support because he is a big name. I was now in a place where I could really reach out to a lot of people that I wanted to work with, and during that process, I was really figuring out how the industry works. I had my fights with them and I had my good times with them, but during that whole time I was learning. When I got to London, I had just gone through this terrible breakup, and I had these plans of writing like the biggest love song album ever, but I had none of that happening inside of me, you know, and so all that came out was heartbreak. I started to reflect on the first heartbreak that I'd ever gone through, which I wrote about in my first EP, Liminal Sketches. My first love had died, essentially, and it was quite a traumatic thing to go through, and that grief was quite heavy on me, and so I wanted to speak about those frustrations, and so I kind of split the album into 3. It was the heartbreak, the mess, and then the resolution. So the video for Panther was it was inspired by how I wrote the song. In a black Jaguar coming back from the club, and that's why the song is called Panther, because I was like leaving the club and I had that feeling of regret, like why were we here, what were we doing, and why? And so when I wanted to do the video, I wanted us to be in this car ride, but I wanted to be the driver, you know, almost driving toward that emotion of truth. But also my cousin, she listened to the song a lot, and she was like, I definitely want to help you with the treatment of this and relay the story that I hear. And so I just had a team of people come together to make it happen, you know. Black rich we don't before. Collaboration is the most powerful part of this industry. Even though we don't announce it in our work, we're always collaborating on some level. The producers on the album for me are big collaborators for me, because they brought their experience and their artistry to the work and allowed my vision and my plan to come alive. My favorite in music has to be Panther with Younger Chief. I think there's a synergy that's happened with Younger and I. I also work with a lot of brands, and some of my favorite collabs have been with Adidas. In fact, Panther was premiered before the album was released in an Adidas ad. So I knew the importance of a team from very early on, because I understood that I have strengths and weaknesses, and there's opportunities that I can take, but there's also threats or barriers to entry that are there that I can't really control. And so I knew that it's important to bring together the right people to make sure that certain visions and ideas can be executed well. I think that the pandemic has had many negative effects on the industry. When it began as artists, we were all like, what do we do? You know, there was a frustration and a worry that we all had, but I really chose to surrender. I was worried about money, 100%, and I was worried about social interactions, you know, because a lot of the work we do requires people. Projects that we need to look out for from me: I am dropping a new music video at the end of this month, which is February. Maybe this will be in March, but this I would have dropped a video for Pretend featuring Amy George. There's a couple features that are coming out this year in genres that I don't usually play in. I was in studio with some Amapiano people, and I'm like, interesting. What's up, guys? This was Langa Mavuso. Thank you so much for tuning into the Weekend Turn Up, brought to you by Sports Scene with Adidas. If you want to follow me, you can find me at Langa Mav on Instagram, Twitter, Langa Mavuso on Facebook and YouTube, and download all the music on all the streaming platforms by searching Langa Mavuso. So please, 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 please follow me, follow this page, and keep it locked right here on this page. Skies to sky, running around drop tops in the spot in cars we can't afford. Black rich we don't